It begins with a void, a momentary silence in the corridors of your mind. You stand at the threshold of a room, but the reason you are there has evaporated into mist. Or perhaps an echo of the past, a memory so vivid, so authentic, only to discover that the event was never recorded in the annals of reality. It was merely a ghost, a mirage woven by the greatest architect and the most cunning deceiver ever known. Welcome to the laboratory we call the human brain. Today, we will not merely learn. We will conduct a dissection. We will peel back the veil on the very foundation of yourself, memory. We will trace its magnificent workings, the reasons we are forced to forget, and how, at times, your brain becomes an unreliable narrator, a master forger of its own stories. I am the voice within this lab, your guide in the labyrinth of your own consciousness. This is False Memory Lab, a space where we don't read from sanitized textbooks. Here, we decode the machine that runs your existence. In this session, we will investigate how a memory is born from nothingness, why forgetting is not a weakness, but an essential defense mechanism. We will visit an operating theater from the past, where a single brain surgery changed the course of neuroscience forever. And of course, we will witness firsthand how false memories are planted, how they grow and take root even in the sharpest of minds. Let us crack open your skull, metaphorically, of course. What is memory, really? Forget what you think you know. Memory is not a high-resolution video camera flawlessly recording reality. The truth is far messier. Think of memory as a living ecosystem, fluid, flexible, and at times terrifyingly fragile. Without it, we are empty shells, unable to learn, to grow, to recognize a lover's face, or even answer the most fundamental question: who am I? Your brain is a metropolis run by a silent committee of specialists. Facts and events knock on the door of the hippocampus and medial temporal lobe. They are your archivists. Skills and habits, like riding a bike or typing a password, thank the basal ganglia and cerebellum. They are the silent puppet masters. And emotional memories, the sting of fear, the warmth of first love. That is the domain of the amygdala, the gatekeeper of emotion. Two major types of memory. In the vast landscape of long-term memory, we divide it into two great kingdoms operating under entirely different laws. First, the kingdom of the declarative, or explicit memory. These are the memories you can summon at will, the ones you can speak. But in the shadows, another kingdom reigns, far older and more powerful, the kingdom of the non-declarative or implicit memory. It cannot be explained with words, only shown through action. It is the ghost in the machine, the memory that forms your habits, your addictions, your reflexes. One is the memory you think you control. The other is the memory that controls you. And this radical understanding did not come from a theory on paper. It came from a tragedy, a real human sacrifice that opened our eyes to a shocking truth. The most famous brain in history. Remember this name, Henry Molaison. Science knows him by his initials, Patient H.M. In a desperate act, doctors took a radical step. With the cold precision of a scalpel, they removed the parts of his brain thought to be the source of his seizures, including both of his hippocampi. The seizures stopped, but something else stopped with them. Henry's ability to weave the present into the past was gone. He could no longer form new memories. Each morning he awoke, he was a man trapped in the amber of a single moment, meeting the same doctors as if they were strangers, reading the same magazine with fresh interest. Yet, a strange anomaly emerged. Henry could still learn. His muscles learned. His motor system remembered. He had no conscious, declarative memory of ever learning, but his body, his implicit memory, remembered perfectly. His life, frozen in time, became the foundation for our modern understanding of memory. How memories are actually formed. So if your brain isn't a hard drive, How does it engrave information into its very fabric? The answer lies not in storage, but in connection. Every time you learn something, your brain physically rewires itself. It strengthens the connections between the neurons involved. This process has a powerful name: long-term potentiation. Neurons that fire together, wire together. Imagine a dense forest in your mind. Every time two neurons communicate, they create a small trail. The more they talk, the trail becomes a path. The path becomes a highway. Memory is not an object. It is a relationship, a dance of electricity, repeated until it becomes permanent choreography. Why we forget, and that's okay. And what of the opposite? Forgetting. We see it as a failure. But what if I told you that forgetting is not a bug? It is an essential feature. If we remembered every detail of every second, our brains would be paralyzed, drowned in an ocean of irrelevant data. Forgetting is the mind's way of clearing the cache. Forgetting is a mercy, killing for experiences too heavy to carry. There is decay, where the memory trace fades like an old photograph left in the sun. There is interference, where new information shouts over the old, like two radio stations battling for the same frequency. And retrieval failure, where the memory exists, but you have lost the key to the room where it is kept. But even when we do remember, there is a far more unsettling truth. The memory you retrieve may no longer be the original. False memory. When your brain lies to you, have you ever been in an argument, 100% certain of what was said, while they swear with equal conviction it never happened? Welcome to the realm of false memory. This is not a rare disorder. This happens to all of us, every single day. The most famous example is the Mandela Effect, a collective phenomenon where millions of people share a clear, detailed memory of an event that never occurred. The psychologist Elizabeth Loftus demonstrated how terrifyingly easy it is to plant a false memory using misleading questions, doctored photographs, or simple suggestion. Every time you remember, you are not playing back a recording. You are reconstructing the memory from scratch. And in that process, your brain, like a careless detective, fills in the gaps with its best guesses, with assumptions, and sometimes with pure fiction. The act of remembering is an act of recreation, and in every recreation, there is a risk of corruption. Memory is the narrative tapestry we call life. It is the foundation of love, heartbreak, wisdom, and regret. But it is far from perfect. It is editable, flexible, and sometimes completely unreliable. So the next time you are certain of how something happened, stop, take a breath, and ask yourself one simple yet profound question. Is this memory or imagination? If this dissection has shaken your mind even a little, show your approval. Join the laboratory and leave a comment below. What false memory have you experienced? We want to hear it. Welcome to the lab.